The Steed Ponte Auto Group in Yorkville and Herkimer and Turnbull Insurance Service since 1866 present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region. A special good morning and happy 10th anniversary to Abby and Frank in Oneonta.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living. We were supposed to be filming up north this week, but it was so freezing cold up there that we thought it best to stay right here in the heart of the Mohawk Valley.
But it's cold here too.
Yeah, I know. So we come here to Frankfort and it's cold here too. So that we're going to be moving right along. The poor cameraman is shivering and freezing over there, as is his camera. So stay tuned as we travel around the Frankfort area.
Honey, put another dollar in the jukebox. Roll another dime across the floor. Here's that quarter. Find someone who cares.
Special thanks to the team at Steed Ponte Chevrolet in Herkimer for keeping Mohawk Valley Living on the road. Part of the owner-operated Steed Ponte Auto Group dealerships, serving Utica and the Valley. Today, with the North Country socked in with snow, wind, and bitter cold temperatures, we head into the Valley, with less snow, but no less cold. In Frankfort, we head to Industrial Drive and CTM Corporation. We are given a tour by sales engineer John Pisek, who tells us about the parts they built that are on Mars, including the scoop on the Phoenix lander and more recently parts on the Mars rover Curiosity.
Let's see what we can see.
CTM is a company that's been in Frankfurt since the early 60s. It started when Mr. Nagel came over from Germany, worked for a couple small companies in the area, then decided to start one on his own. Well, back then it was mostly manual machining that went on, conventional milling and lathe work. Now, today, with our new 3D printer, new laser engraver, CNC equipment, we can make parts that are virtually out of this world. We've been fortunate enough to do for a lot of projects for space. We built the scoop that's on Mars that was placed from the Phoenix project. Recently with Curiosity, we did a lot of the parts for the SAMS, the science lab that's on there. We also worked with Oak Ridge National Laboratory on the next generation moon vehicle. We're very large in firearms. We have our FFL, our New York State gunsmithing permit. Not only do we work with the local large manufacturer, Remington Arms, but many gun manufacturers throughout the Northeast and throughout the country. We've been involved in medical as well as optics. Do a lot of onesie-twosie parts, people that want to see their part before they actually put it into production. We're mostly involved in the prototype world as well. 3D printing was the next step for us. It allows us to do a lot of the parts that you saw today, even though you couldn't see some of the parts we made because they aren't even to market yet. But that's what they come to us for, to prove out their theories, prove out what could be happening in their product line, and make them go to the next step. Well, the investment we made of about $200,000 was well worth it the way we look at it. The machine has been nonstop since we got it in, and it continues to grow that way. As they bring new plastics on board that we can produce through there too, we see more markets opening up. Right now we have about 25 employees, about 15,000 square feet, always looking for qualified employees. So anybody out there that's interested, we have a help wanted sign in the front yard you saw when you pulled in. Always looking to bring in new talent.
Not only do they have parts that landed on Mars, but they have made for me a custom wrench, Mohawk Valley Living, and a cover for my cell phone. Amazing. 3D printing. Wow.
To learn more about CTM Corporation's current projects, their 3D printing capabilities, or job opportunities, visit their website, ctm-corp.com. We continue east on Route 5S and over the Mohawk River to the village of Herkimer. We stop on North Main Street for lunch at Brian's Roast Beef. Brian Carney opened his restaurant in the late 1970s when disco was in fashion, located in the former Woolworths building. Generations of customers have memories of Brian's restaurant, now run with the help of his children and grandchildren. They're known for their pasta dishes and chicken wings, as well as their homemade pizza dough and bread. It all started 35 years ago.
Well, I got bored working in a factory, and I ran a business in Frankfurt. Riverside Dairy. I worked there for years as a kid, little kid. And my mother was Sicilian, she was a good cook, so I decided to go in the pizza business, Deli pizza business, roast beef. We still do okay, Been here 36 years, so doing something right? You tried our food, so you know it's good.
I'm currently going to college at Herkimer, but I mean, maybe eventually, because he is retiring, but he'll never retire. He'll work, right, he'll work here, till, I don't know, probably 80s, 90s, because that's the same thing as Mother did. His mother worked until she was 90, so I think he's down the same path.
Brian's Roast Beef is open Monday through Thursday 11 to 10 and Friday and Saturday 11 to 11 at 122 North Main Street in Herkimer.
It's the feeling I get when I look around. It lets me know I'm home. I'm making this valley my home. I'm so proud to call it my home. Oh, it's not what you
We head to downtown Utica to the studio of artist Victor Lanuza. This prolific painter has traveled extensively, but his hometown of Utica drew him back to his studio overlooking the city. Here he creates landscapes, cityscapes, and portraits, studying the movements of dancers, musicians, models, and actors, exploring external and internal darkness and light.
I've been working on kind of a small series of Elizabeth Taylor, but I've been trying to do a play on collage and more about movement and slowly breaking away the figure, not so representational, but just kind of breaking it down into shapes and movement and different colors. So I think beauty is more of a reaction, whether it's ugly, but I'd like to get a response out of people, whether it be the nervous system, whether they like it, they don't like it. It's not up to me. And it's a pleasure to sell things. It's great. You want a lot of people to see it, but a lot of times it's just the work. It's being here alone and, making it work, keeping yourself inspired and keep working through it. Overcoming fear, basically. A lot of times it's being fearful of creating something good, bad. If something really goes my way, I tend to scratch it and then find myself struggling until it happens. It's like 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration, and sometimes it's like just saving it, saving the art, from a bad drawing or whatever. You're continually trying to make it. I don't know, it doesn't always make you happy, but you have moments of content. So my family's here, I'm from here. I've done a lot of traveling through my life, and I always find myself coming back. Not the ghosts or relatives or childhood memories, however, I'm comfortable being here and I could do what I love. And I lived in New York and I was paying 6 times this amount for a space this big, and it's great. I love the place, but it's kind of distracting. I can focus more here.
You're invited to the opening reception of an exhibit of Victor Lanuza's artwork this Friday, January 17th from 6 to 9 p.m. at The Other Side, 2011 Genesee Street in South Utica. Enjoy music and refreshments at this free event. Pick up the January issue of Mohawk Valley Living magazine, featuring Bird's Nest of Winter by naturalist Matt Perry, Tucci Hot Rods in Marcy, a guide to winter farmers markets, and fun local area history. All in this month's issue of Mohawk Valley Living magazine. Available now at our sponsors, your local Steet Ponte dealership and Stewart shops.
Yes, I'm making this valley my home.
The Steet Ponte Auto Group is proud to bring Mohawk Valley Living to you each week, serving the Utica area and the Valley with outstanding customer service. In Yorkville at Steet Ponte Ford Lincoln Mazda, Steet Ponte Volkswagen, and Steet Toyota Scion. And in Herkimer at Steet Ponte Chevrolet. Stop in and see why it's so easy to do business with Steet Ponte. You go the extra mile for your small business and should expect the same from your insurance company. For over 140 years, Turnbull Insurance Service has been committed to local small business. For your commercial coverage, turn to the company ready to go that extra mile. Turn to Turnbull. Shop NJ Flehan for the chef on your list for professional quality espresso machines, KitchenAid appliances and attachments, barware, glassware, and bakeware at NJ Flehan, 703 Bleecker Street in Utica.
The people you know, the rock you love, and more songs per hour. 92.7 FM, The Drive, Central New York's locally owned independent rock station.
All your holiday shopping needs are at Melrose Supermarket, featuring custom-cut meats like hams, standing rib roast, turkeys, and crown pork roasts, and party trays from deli and salads to breads and fruits, as well as local favorites like Riggies and Greens at Melrose Supermarket, East Main Street in Frankfort. Visit Maria's Pasta Shop for beautiful Italian gift baskets, perfect for anyone on your list. And call ahead for holiday party trays that make entertaining easy. Maria's Pasta Shop, Oneida Street in Utica.
Hi, Dr. Tom. Bringing your cat to the Paris Hill Cat Hospital on Sundays is a part of Mohawk Valley living. Come inside and see why.
Paris Hill Cat Hospital, this is Lindsay. How can I help you? Hello, Mrs. Cole. Your cat is losing weight and you need an appointment? And you're only available on weekends. Sure, I have an available appointment with Dr. Karen Sunday at 2 p.m. Does that fit into your schedule? Okay.
We're open 7 days a week because we know that your cat can become ill anytime. The Paris Hill Cat Hospital, quality care for your cats and kittens.
Used to be moving along.
Special thanks to Turnbull Insurance Service and Mark and Jim Turnbull. Their continued support makes the show possible.
And the trees all whisper hello. My old friend, it's good to have you home. Oh, why did you go?
The Mohawk Valley Center for the Arts in Little Falls presents Local Arts. We visit nearby Forestport and the studio gallery of artist Constance Smith. Here she creates Adirondack landscapes and wildlife art on canvas, fungus, saw blades, tinware, or any other surface she chooses, even turkey feathers. She's always looking for new ideas, but painting is nothing new to Constance.
Oh, well, I was 5 years old, and I've been painting ever since. I was a art major in high school, and college I went to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, and I'm an interior designer by trade.
Oh, okay.
So art is in my blood, and if I didn't have my art, yeah, I'd probably go bonkers. I've done many, many things in my life. I worked for 2 industrial designers and did a lot of drawing and offices, interiors for offices for them, through them. Made scale models of industrial machinery.
That's
and,
quite a bit different than the nature things you do.
Yes, well, I live near the Adirondacks, you know, and so I've been to the Southwest. I've painted in New Mexico and in Mexico and other various places, but this is my home, and I also go to Monhegan Island for 20 years off the coast of Maine, and I can't sell those seascapes in upstate New York, so I've started to do a lot more Adirondack work since I've been back here to stay.
You can see Constance Smith's turkey feathers on display at View in Old Forge, in conjunction with the Wildlife Exhibition through April 28th. Water's Edge Inn and Conference Center, Old Forge's premier lodging destination, presents Adirondack Journal.
Good morning, I'm Gary Van Riper. Welcome to Adirondack Journal. We're at Macaulay Mountain this morning, and when you think of Macaulay Mountain here in Old Forge, you tend to think of the downhill skiing. What a lot of people don't realize is right across the parking lot from the downhill area are some fantastic cross-country ski trails. There are several different loops here depending on how much time you have, and they're all very safe, being dedicated to cross-country skiing. You don't have to worry about running into a snowmobile or vice versa. Here's Steve from the center to tell you all about it.
Well, one of our best kept secrets here in McCauley is our cross-country trails. We have over 20 kilometers of groomed and maintained trails, wide enough that you can skate, or it's also set for a traditional track set for those traditional cross-country skiers out there. One thing neat about cross-country is it's all up to you and Mother Nature. You don't have to rely on mechanical means. If the power goes out, what do? You can't alpine ski, but certainly you can cross-country ski. And it's just the easiest way, the best way to get out into nature. We're separate from the snowmobile trails. We're up here we have over 1,000 acres here at McCauley, and we utilize those trails to get people sort of away from the crowds, yet you're still fairly close if you need to get back to the chalet. Well, the terrain here in the Old Forge area is perfect for cross-country skiing because it's not the radical uphills and downhills that you find perhaps in the high peaks of the Adirondacks. It's much more gentle terrain, so more suited for the intermediate cross-country skier or beginner. But certainly there's plenty of challenge, and you're going to find a lot of that here in McCauley. But they're easy to avoid. If something looks a little too difficult, you just make another turn and you can avoid that. We do have an inexpensive rates for our cross-country trail. It's only $5 for a day use ticket. It is also free all through the month of March. So we encourage people to come on up for the month of March.
If you don't currently own cross-country ski equipment, or maybe you want to try the sport for the first time, you can stop at Mountain Man Sports on Main Street on your way to the mountain. They can hook you up. You can rent equipment just like they did for me here. And you can hit the trails and add another page to your own Adirondack Journal.
Get your sled out on the trails. Call Turnbull Insurance and have a snow adventure tomorrow with complete snowmobile insurance protecting you and your sled. Call 735-9201 and get out on the trails. Watch Mohawk Valley Living every Sunday on Fox 33 and UTR. And pick up the free Mohawk Valley Living magazine the first of each month. Available at many locations like these throughout the Mohawk Valley and at your closest Stewart shops. Make any day a special day and a special day even better with fresh baked pastries and cookies from Cafe Caruso on Bleecker Street in East Utica. Stop in or call ahead for special orders. Visit Brenda's Natural Foods in their brand new, bigger location, right down the street at 236 West Dominic Street in Rome. Brenda's Natural Foods, something good and a lot of it. It's the New Year's clearance sale at the Village Crossing. Save 30% off turtlenecks, coats, jackets, and clothes that sparkle. Winter shoes and boots are marked down, and save an additional 40% off clearance items during the New Year's clearance sale going on now at the Village Crossing in Clinton.
Hi, welcome to the Little Falls Antique Center in the shops at 25 West. We have 2 full floors with 50 vendors of interesting and unique products ranging from specialized to very eclectic, primitive to the not so primitive. Remember, shop local, we're worth the trip.
Shop Shelter for handmade Adirondack furniture designed by craftsman Jim Kiefer. He works with you to create custom pieces to your specifications, from dining room and coffee tables to bookcases, beds, and bunks. Call or visit Shelter on Main Street in Old Forge. Store co-owners Linda and Joe McHarris invite you to shop the talented local artists at the Artisans Corner. You'll discover one-of-a-kind handcrafted pottery, clothing, candles, jewelry, and original artwork, handmade from the heart of Central New York at the Artisans Corner in Clinton. Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377. Don't miss the 27th annual Quilts Unlimited exhibition at View, featuring traditional and eclectic quilts and wall hangings from all over the United States. On display through January 5th at View, open daily in Old Forge. Old Forge attracts people from all over the country with its beckoning Adirondack charm. Artist Greg Klein has lived and painted in Nebraska and Colorado, but he and his wife were drawn to the rugged beauty of the Adirondack landscape.
I like painting a lot of the waterways, the river and the lakes up here as well, and the tree, especially particularly at around sunset or sunrise, just to get that nice light. I just like the feel of old buildings, the way they make me feel, and the interesting shapes they have as well, and shadows. I just find it very fascinating. I grew up in the Midwest, around Nebraska, and I lived in Colorado, and actually when I started painting, I was living in Colorado at the time. And then when I moved up here, it didn't really change a whole lot. I'm still fascinated by the same heavily wooded areas, and the Adirondacks are a beautiful spot, so it really can't go wrong. I think it's the challenge of getting better down the road, improving myself. I still think I'm halfway to where I want to be, so I'll probably be like that when I'm 62. So it's always there's always a great improvement for growth and improvement. So that's what keeps me going.
To learn more about artist Greg Klein and see his work, visit his website, gregkleinart.com.
Driving down the road down in South Carolina, couldn't see the clearing road. Ran into a big suit with
Old Forge is known as the snowmobile capital of the East. With over 500 miles of snowmobile trails, there's plenty of adventure to be had. You can check out the hottest new sleds at Smith Marine. And right next door, RPM Snowmobile Rentals offers a great way for families to explore the Adirondack Winter Wonderland.
Well, there's lots of, I feel like it's a big wilderness. If you're into nature, that's definitely what it is. Nature out there, and there's a lot of places to go. I mean, Stillwater, I send people around, the Stillwater, Racket Lake. There's lakes. If you like to ice fish, you can take your sled out on the lake, ice fish. A lot of people do. We got a lot of people doing that. But you can get around it. Like I said, there's 500 miles of trails. They always come back with a smile on their face, and we get a lot of repeat business.
I came rolling down the hill, down into the Mohawk Valley. Train pulled into Union Station.
On Main Street, we stop in to visit one of our sponsors, Shelter, to see what Jim Kiefer's been up to. He doesn't have much time to talk because he's busy working on Adirondack rustic furniture. It seems people who visit the area want to take it with them to make the Adirondacks part of their home.
Singer-songwriters in downtown knew one picker was I who came to play. There was music in the valley. There was music in the air.
If you're looking to warm up with an espresso or latte, Ozzy's Coffee Bar is the place for visitors and locals alike. You'll also discover crisp green salads and fresh hot paninis. The cafe was the vision of the late Kirsty Sutherland. Her husband, Eric, is carrying on her dream.
It was my wife's idea. She was out of town on a trip and saw all these places in these strip malls and said Old Forge does not have a coffee bar, and she likes her high-end coffee, so Ozzy's Coffee Bar was born with that idea. One of the things Main Street was lacking, in her opinion, was healthy, good food. She was a diabetic. She needed to eat good food, not lots of starches and carbohydrates. So she wanted her fresh salads, her soup, stuff like that. So again, it was something that wasn't really being offered here. So we decided to start doing those things. Well, this is her, so I have to keep going for that reason, but it's here. I want to keep it open. Our locals love it here. Our out-of-towners love it here, and without this place here, we have a void on Main Street, and we need to keep this going. So,
Ozzy's Coffee Bar is located on Main Street in Old Forge. It opens at 7:30 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday for breakfast and lunch, and of course, coffee.
Oh, it's not what you take or give, and it's here I want to live. Yes, I'm making this valley.
The Steet Ponte Auto Group is proud to bring Mohawk Valley Living to you each week, serving the Utica area and the Valley with outstanding customer service. In Yorkville at Steet Ponte Ford Lincoln Mazda, Steet Ponte Volkswagen, and Steet Toyota Scion. And in Herkimer at Steet Ponte Chevrolet. Stop in and see why it's so easy to do business with Steet Ponte. Do something about your chronic pain. Inter-X therapy can be the answer to your post-surgical or sports injury rehabilitation or chronic neuropathic pain. Call Dr. Michael Tucherone at 853-6225 for non-invasive Inter-X therapy. It's the New Year's clearance sale at the Village Crossing. Save 30% off turtlenecks, coats, jackets, and clothes that sparkle. Winter shoes and boots are marked down, and save an additional 40% off clearance items during the New Year's clearance sale going on now at the Village Crossing in Clinton. That special art, photograph, or memorabilia deserves a special frame. Oscars creates one-of-a-kind gold and silver leaf mirrors and frames. Oscars Picture Framing, 12 Kellogg Road, New Hartford. Have a tropical adventure and walk among hundreds of free-flying butterflies, tropical birds, plants, lizards, and frogs at the Pop Butterfly Conservatory. It's an unforgettable experience for all ages. Open 7 days a week on Route 7 in Oneonta. Tom's Natural Foods is your connection to local farms for natural and organic fruits and vegetables, meats, eggs, cheeses, and other milk products at Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally. Alpaca Gardens has the largest selection of the finest alpaca clothing and products in central New York. Alpaca is warmer than wool, softer than cashmere, and hypoallergenic. Choose from many styles of sweaters and all kinds of warm, comfortable socks. There's also a huge selection of alpaca yarn, roving, and felt, and is the perfect holiday shopping store for hats, mittens, rugs, ponchos, stuffed animals, handbags, and much more. Open 7 days a week for the holidays at 27 West Main Street in Little Falls. Get your tickets to the thrilling Doug Verone and Dancers, performers the New York Times says are always worth seeing. On stage Saturday, January 25th at Welland Hall Schambach Center for Music and the Performing Arts at Hamilton College in Clinton. Tickets available at the box office or call 859-4331.
Mohawk Valley, let's see what we can see.
The Winter Carnival may be over, but there's still plenty of snow and winter left to enjoy. Old Forge has attracted visitors for generations, but living here and vacationing here wasn't quite as easy a couple hundred years ago. The Goodsell Museum sheds light on the lives of early settlers and vacationers to this Adirondack town. It is free and open year-round.
We focus mainly on the township of Webb. We are the largest township in New York State, area-wise square footage. We are totally within the park boundaries. We have a full-time population here of under 1,700 people. When you come in the summer, you see lots of people here, but come Columbus Day, it's like every place else, we pretty much empty. But we have a rich history here. We started with logging, ice cutting. They're what they used to call sports, were people that came, gentlemen mostly, that came up here to hunt and fish. Our guides, local guys took them in the woods to do that. Not a lot of people came here. I mean, until Dr. Webb put the train in 1892. That's when we really started to roll, because it was more convenient to get here.
Saturday night, what it is, singing.